Alright, last time I posted a video on how I made over 1k gold during the Janthir Wilds release, you all asked me to share my methods sooner. Although if you were on my stream, you probably already know about this. But we got a new zone, and with that new zone came new nodes of which the materials are selling for a hefty price. Now I want to warn you, because there's a good chance prices will change a lot over the coming days and maybe even after this video is out. I've actually been instant selling all of my own materials just in case prices would change overnight, which is something that we already saw with honeyflowers and lowland pine logs on release. Usually this isn't the best move, but in these kinds of cases I gladly make an exception. And this exact scenario already happened, by the way, as I sold a bunch of my Mursaat Obsidian Chunks at 5 silver each, and not even 15 minutes later, the offers dropped down to 1 silver. Although they're back up to 3.5 now. So yeah, we might be in for quite a ride. Despite this volatility, I do believe that it's gonna be worth farming the new map all week, maybe even a bit longer. Because before the Obsidian Chunks crashed, I was actually making over 90 gold per hour, and about half of that came from the Titan Heat Stones, which seem to be more resilient to these price movements. So even at about half the gold per hour, it's still one of the best gathering farms at this moment. And especially if you consider that all of the nodes not only respawn hourly, but also every single time you change map IPs. And this week, I expect enough people to be in the Mistburned Barrens to be able to jump maps constantly. To do this, all you need to do is go to the LFG and look for any group in an instance you're currently not in and join them. Now, I don't know how this is possible, but ArenaNet actually forgot to make a new category for the Mistburned Barrens in the LFG, so you might need to look for your groups in any of the 3 other categories. Alternatively, you could also go to your homestead and leave back to the map, which has a good chance of dropping you in a new IP too. Now about the actual farm, I don't have an optimal route yet, but you can basically divide the map into 3 lanes. I usually start at the waypoint and then work the bottom lane west to east, after which I cross through the middle lane towards the northern one, and then I circle back to the waypoint before looping to the middle part of the map. If the Agony is active, you can actually skip the easternmost part of the Seer's March, but if all events have been completed, you're gonna want to drop down there, as there's around 5 to 6 Mursaat Obsidian Chunk nodes, with 2 of them being near the end. As for the gathering tools, you'll either want to bring a Glyph of Bounty or Volatility, and the one that's best is most likely gonna change with the prices of the Obsidian Chunks and the Heat Stones. I've already talked about this in Monday's video, during which Bounty was actually better on high value nodes, but this seems to be the other way around now. If you want peace of mind, Volatility is probably the no-brainer. But if you want to be optimal, it's important to note that the Glyph of Bounty, just like an item booster, will give you a 33% chance at an additional strike, with that strike being able to trigger more of them until you hit virtually 0% chance of additional strikes. In reality, this comes down to being able to get 6 materials instead of 3 if you're truly lucky, but according to the wiki, you can expect around 3.5 per node. Now to compare this value with the Glyph of Volatility, all you need to do is take 3.5 times the value of the materials you're gathering, and then calculate the difference with the regular tree you would get and add the value of volatile magic. Again, this is if you truly want to be optimal though. If you don't have either of these glyphs, you can also get a free limited use tool that contains them, by the way. You can get the volatile magic one from any of the Living World Season 4 vendors, and the bounty ones from any gathering vendor in any major city or premium launch. Lastly, I'd also recommend you bring a build with both quickness on demand and some stealth, which is gonna make both scrappers and thieves optimal, as clearing mobs around a node or trying to run when you can't mount up is gonna cut down into how much you're making. Anyway, I'm gonna keep it at this. If you have any questions on the glyphs, on the route, or you wanna see me struggle on the new raid challenge modes, or even quickly grind out 2 more legendary weapons I can give away, hop on my stream. There's even Twitch drops with a free back slot in it for you.